Don't skip this. Please, just give me a few moments of your time, because this isn't just another random post pushing through your feed, and it's definitely not something you should just scroll past. This is urgent. I'm reaching out to you one last time before the noise of everything else completely drowns out this whisper. You've been looking for signs, feeling that heavy tug in your chest, sitting awake during those long, quiet nights, wondering if anyone actually hears the unspoken ache in your soul. You didn't stumble onto this by accident today. You didn't just click this link by some random stroke of luck. This exact moment was set up just for you. A quiet intersection of mercy and a choice you need to make right now. Think about it. Every single second of your life, every high, every devastating low, and every mundane routine has built up to this very second. Right now, there is a profound stillness happening around you while you read these words, as if everything is waiting to see what you will do next with your heart. This isn't about scolding you or making you feel guilty for where you've been. This is a direct call to bring you back home, to where you belong. I know exactly how many times you've heard that inner voice and chose to look away, not out of malice, but because you genuinely believed you'd have more time later down the road. You kept telling yourself that you would sort things out when life calmed down, when you finally figured yourself out, or when the timing felt perfect. But that imaginary later has officially become your right now. And the time you thought you could always rely on is slipping through your fingers like sand. You brushed off the warnings and the quiet nudges, assuming it was just your own overactive imagination or a passing emotion, but it wasn't. It was a loving hand reaching through the chaos of your daily life, trying to remind you that you were built for something so much bigger than just surviving this grind. I've watched you walk right through brutal storms that by all accounts should have completely broken you. I've seen you put on a brave, smiling face for the rest of the world while you were secretly falling apart in absolute silence. You've spent so much energy chasing after things you thought would bring meaning, only to end up feeling completely empty inside. I was there in those dark moments when you wanted to throw your hands up and give up, when something deep inside you whispered that there had to be more to life than this. There is more. Every single sleepless night, every unanswered question, and every restless beat of your heart was a call waiting for this exact interaction. This isn't just another piece of content on your screen. This is a real-time intervention. This is patience running its course, not out of weakness, but out of a deep, unshakable care for you. I've stayed right by your side while you chose everything else over me. Your phone, your hectic plans, your pride, and your deepest anxieties. Even when you turned your back and pretended not to notice, I didn't walk away, because you mean too much to be left to just drift out to sea. I'm not asking you to be perfect or to put on a flawless performance. I am simply asking for your undivided attention. The reality is that the world has gotten so incredibly loud with endless opinions, constant distractions, and shallow desires that the truest voice in your life became a faint echo. But right here in this temporary pause, the static of the world is being pushed aside just for you. This message speaks with more power than your fears and shines brighter than your deepest shame. These aren't the empty words of people who have let you down in your past. These words carry actual life. When this truth hits a heart, dead things start beating again. Heavy chains finally break, and a real, grounded peace starts to breathe where despair used to live. That is exactly what is happening to you in this very moment. This carries immense weight because it's a crucial opportunity before your next chapter unfolds. You are standing right on the edge of something permanent, and the decision you make today is going to shape your path in ways you can't even see yet. This isn't a threat to scare you. It's a lifeline thrown out to save you from losing your way. The door that has been open for so long is starting to close, and this unique window to heal, return, and walk into your true purpose is narrowing down. If you've ever felt an unexplainable comfort when you were crying yourself to sleep, or a sudden urge to keep going when you were at your absolute breaking point. That wasn't a coincidence. That was a shield protecting you. Every closed door, every sudden delay, and every frustrating disappointment was a hidden protection, keeping you from completely destroying your own future. But nobody is going to force you into this. Real love never forces anyone. It simply extends a genuine invitation. Do you feel that sudden stirring inside you right now? That unique mix of nervousness and profound hope? That is a real presence moving in your life. You aren't imagining it, and it is closer to you right now than your very next breath. You might wonder why this is happening today of all days. It's because you've reached a critical crossroads where putting things off is no longer safe. You've been asking for undeniable signs, begging for clarity, and saying that if there is a higher purpose, it needs to speak up clearly. This is that moment. These words are cutting right past your analytical mind and speaking straight to your soul. There is a specific reason you can't just shake this off. A reason your pulse is racing a bit faster as you listen. It's because something much bigger than you is leaning in close. You still have a beautiful chance to rebuild, to trust, and to start completely fresh. But you have to actively make that choice today. Don't let your pride or your fear trip you up. You haven't gone too far down the wrong road, and you aren't too late, but you are running out of time. Look at the world around you right now. Things are getting darker, people's hearts are growing colder, and society is completely forgetting what pure truth sounds like. Yet here you are, encountering a light that is still fighting for you. Don't let this become just another passing video you forget about in 5 minutes. This might be your last clear window before the door shuts. You have no idea what tomorrow is going to throw at you, but your path is already known, and that's why this lifeline is being extended while the coast is still clear. If you truly understood how much you are valued, you wouldn't hesitate for a single second. If you could see the sheer number of times you were shielded from unseen disasters, and how many times destruction was physically blocked from your path, you would let go of your defenses instantly. I have walked right beside you through chaos you didn't even notice, fighting battles for your peace of mind when you were completely unaware of how close you were to the edge. I have loved you through every single mistake, every failure, and every time you pushed away. We aren't here to look at what you did wrong. We are looking at what can still go right if you just stop and listen. Stay right here. Don't rush back into the digital noise or let some notification distract you now that you've come this far. Stay with this feeling, because this very moment could be the massive turning point of your entire destiny. If you walk away right now, you might never find your way back to this level of clarity. If you stay, absolutely everything can change for you. The choice is entirely in your hands, but everything is hanging in the balance waiting for your response. There have been countless moments where hints were dropped into your life. Quiet signs, sudden pauses, and unexpected changes in direction that you didn't realize were deliberate attempts to get you to look up. You saw the red flags but brushed them off. You felt the pull but called it a coincidence. You convinced yourself it was just stress, a random emotion, or weird timing. But it wasn't random at all. Every single time your stomach knotted up because you were heading down the wrong path, that was a deliberate warning. Every time you looked up at a sunset or the night sky and felt an overwhelming sense of wonder, that was a reminder that you aren't alone. Every time life forced you to slow down unexpectedly, it was a hard break, designed to stop you before you completely derailed. You have no clue how many times a breakthrough happened through what you labeled as bad luck. The car that wouldn't start before a trip that would have ended badly. The toxic friendship that fell apart before it completely ruined your reputation. The massive opportunity that collapsed because it would have stripped away your integrity. All of it was careful orchestration. You prayed for direction, but because the answer didn't look like a shiny prize, you ignored it. You asked for signs, but then you used logic to explain them away. The world has drowned out everything good. Your calendar is packed, your phone is buzzing constantly, and you have time for every single person's opinion except the one voice that can actually anchor your soul. Your heart has become so incredibly cluttered with career pressure, social media standards, superficial ambitions, and deep-seated fears. You are constantly chasing things that promise to make you happy, but they leave you feeling even more hollow than before. You wake up exhausted, even after a full night of sleep, because your spirit is tired from constantly running away from the truth. You fill every spare second with noise, because you are terrified of what you'll hear if you sit in the silence. Think about the basic blessings you take for granted every single day. The very air in your lungs each morning is a fresh extension of mercy. When unexpected help showed up out of nowhere, or when a random person showed you genuine kindness, that was a message saying you haven't been abandoned. When a sudden wave of peace hit you for no apparent reason in the middle of a stressful day, that was a reminder. When tears came but a tiny spark of hope followed closely behind, that was comfort wrapping around you. Yet, you credited luck, thanked coincidence, or thought your own sheer willpower carried you through, when in reality, it was pure grace holding you up. There were also times truth spoke directly through your pain. When your world fell apart, it wasn't a punishment. It was a massive wake-up call to bring you back to solid ground. The things you built on a shaky foundation had to break, so you could finally rebuild your life on a rock that nothing can shake. Certain things had to collapse, and certain people had to walk out of your life because they were never meant to be part of your future. Some of your most desperate prayers went unanswered simply because saying yes to them would have led you down a path of total self-destruction. You thought it was cruel silence, but it was fierce protection. You cried because you felt abandoned, but the whisper next to you was telling you to just trust the process, because something much bigger was happening behind the scenes. Every single time you turned away, patience stayed at the door just a little bit longer, waiting for you to finally say yes. It waited through your seasons of total silence, through your phases of bitter anger, and through your deepest doubts. It stood there while you chased every single trend and every toxic voice, hoping that you would eventually remember what real peace feels like. It stayed there when you were too busy, too exhausted, or too deeply hurt to care. It stood there when you were out partying and laughing with crowds, but feeling completely detached and alone inside. It waited when you kept promising yourself you'd get your life together tomorrow, knowing that tomorrow would just bring a brand new set of excuses. It waited because your life is absolutely worth fighting for. Imagine what it means for everything to pause and wait for just one person. The potential for absolute joy was right there in front of you, but you chose to fill your days with endless worry instead. You chose to carry massive burdens by yourself that you were meant to cast off a long time ago. You sat in crowded rooms feeling completely invisible to everyone around you. The time for endless waiting is running out. The door of mercy that has been propped wide open for years is finally starting to swing shut. A voice has been calling out across the distance and through all your digital distractions, telling you to come back before the clock runs out. This isn't being said to frighten you. It's being said to wake you up from a deep sleep. You keep operating under the illusion that you have forever to fix this, that there will always be another video, another wake-up call, or another chance down the road. But this is an urgent truth, spoken with genuine sorrow. This very moment could be the final intersection before your life's chapter closes permanently. You wanted a sign, you wanted proof, and you wanted absolute clarity. And right now, you are looking directly at all three. This is your moment of truth. Time is not a guarantee for anyone. You aren't promised an endless string of tomorrows. All you actually have is this exact moment right now. And this is where your real future begins. I know you've been terrified of letting your guard down. You're scared of losing control, scared of getting burned again, and worried that fully surrendering your plans is going to cost you way too much. But whatever you think you're losing by stepping into this truth cannot even begin to compare to the immense peace and clarity you are going to gain. The world has promised you everything under the sun, but it has ultimately left you anxious, completely burned out, and deeply insecure about your future. True purpose doesn't look like that. It doesn't offer a temporary high or a quick fix. It offers a lasting, unshakable peace. It doesn't drain you or leave you empty. It actively strips away the heavy, useless baggage you've been dragging around so you can finally breathe freely again. No one is asking you to put on an act or perform for validation. Just open your heart up. Think back to all those times you felt that quiet tug inside your chest, that sudden wave of conviction, that heavy moment where your inner voice said that things had to change. That wasn't just random psychology. That was a direct call. Every single time a wave of guilt turned into deep self-reflection, or a sudden calm hit you right in the middle of an emotional storm, that was an invitation. And every single time you tried to suppress it and push it away, a gentle whisper followed you, waiting patiently for the next opportunity. The truth has been incredibly close to you, but your focus has been miles away. It's completely understandable what keeps you distracted. The endless grind of your daily schedule, the frantic pursuit of status and success, the desperate craving for validation, and the paralyzing fear of failing miserably. All of these things have built massive, thick walls around your true self. You are constantly running after things that are going to rust, fade, and disappear, while completely ignoring the one constant truth that lasts forever. You find yourself scrolling endlessly through social feeds, looking for a shred of real connection, completely bypassing the deepest love that has existed for you since before you were even born. You deliberately drown your mind in constant noise because you are terrified of being left alone with your own thoughts. But that quiet stillness you are running from is exactly where your healing is waiting for you. You don't need to be condemned for just being human. You just need to remember who you truly belong to.